I cannot believe how late I have left it to make our Christmas cake. It's a family tradition here and we make one every single year. It's very sort of basically iced, but we just get so much pleasure out of soaking the fruit with loads and loads of brandy. And in my recipe tonight, it's 5 tablespoons of brandy. And normally it wouldn't be a last minute thing in this house. I would have sat the fruit in a metal container on top of my Aga in the corner and just have left it there. That would just let all the fruit swell and absorb the alcohol. So what I've done is weighed out all the ingredients. Butter is going in first, followed by the sugar, because being a bit of a traditional cake maker, I would always start with the butter and the sugar. I think I might just give that a little whiz first. So whilst that's getting whizzed along there, the next thing I want to add is a teaspoon of baking powder to my flour. And I'm using plain flour, so that's in there. And I'm going to tip that into my sugar and my butter mixture. And the next thing I've got going on here are ground almonds. Now, if you want to see all the measurements, they're in the description at the end. So you'll be able to see how to make this cake there. With it being Christmas, it's just so key to get those Christmassy tastes and flavours going on. So a good teaspoon here of mixed spice. I'm going to pop that in. Tiny bit of clove. That is, that is so Christmassy. It's a great thing to throw in. The next thing I'm going to throw in here is my fruit. Really flavoursome. So I'm going to pop that in. The thing that makes a Christmas cake really appealing to me are the cherries. You can get bright red ones, totally fine. I prefer the slightly darker ones. It's up to you, it's a preference thing. I've gone for some Earl Grey tea tonight and it will hopefully make the cake really moist. The other thing that will enrich in it are my eggs. So I'm putting here 4 eggs. There we go. The juice of an orange will be another lovely flavour and a bit of liquid. I'm going to squeeze the orange into the mixer like this. And then my last thing is going to be these. So in they go. The mixture is all in here. Got a wonderful mixture here. And what I'm going to do is pop it into the tin. And what I've done is I've taken some greaseproof paper and I sort of measured the circle here. And then I've got my scissors and I've literally cut the 4 corners and then pressed it in here. So it's really basic what I've done. It will just make life a lot easier when we get this cake out, and it will make sure it hasn't stuck. So I'm just going to pour the mixture into the middle. So there we go. My cake is done, mixed, in its tin. It is going in the Aga at 150 degrees Celsius for 2.5 hours. I look forward to pulling out a beautifully cooked Christmas cake a bit later and icing it tomorrow morning. So this is my Christmas cake that I made the other night. And what I did is I left it in overnight and I turned the oven off. And as you can see there, it's now beautifully cooked and it's got golden colour on it. So great, happy with that. So I'm going to come along here and literally turn it out. So here we have it, our lovely Christmas cake. And what I have done here is I've rolled out the marzipan, and I'm just using an almond one, so they call it white marzipan in the shops. If you wanted to make your own marzipan, there's another option. That's sort of ground almonds, egg white and icing sugar. So what you do is you just get some apricot jam. I am blessed in my kitchen here because I do have a hot water tap. So I'm going to give that a little flick. And then give that a little bit like that. And I'm going to melt this down on the agar. And what I want it to do is make a really, really lovely sticky glaze. So that is what I'm doing here. Oh, it smells really, really lovely, that. So this is coming to the boil now, and what I'm going to do is just reduce it down. So I'm pretty much happy with that now. And then I'm going to paint it onto my cake. So dip my brush in there, and I'm literally going to get this painted all over it. So now that's done, hopefully Ringo on top. Peel it back. Da-da. Okay. Now I'm going to pat this down very, very gently. And then what I need to do is roll again my marzipan and get a lovely little load around the edges. Roll it onto the worktop. I'm just looking to get some lovely curves that I can cut out and pop around the cake. So what I'm doing now is just cutting away the excess bits of marzipan that are just hanging over the edge there. So I'll be returning to the kitchen later to get some icing on this cake. So it's later in the day and I'm back in the kitchen, and as you can see, I've rolled out some icing, popped that over the cake. So gently does it, and I'm just going to pop this fondant icing over the top of my cake. Gently cut away the excess icing around the bottom of my cake. What is always really, really amazing is how you can hide everything with a ribbon. So I've got a big ribbon here, a couple of pins. I'm going to put that around it. There you go, ribbon's on, nice and secure. And then it's a case of deciding what you're going to put on top of your cake. We have got a tradition here where we put these little birds on our cake. I'm not going to break that tradition, so here we go. There's one for each one of my lovely children. The other thing I love to see on cakes are, little cut-out stars, little bits of sparkle. So this year we're having some cut-out stars, and I'm going to cut them out of white icing. But we could also, I did a couple earlier. Some white stars. So I'm going to pop those down, and then the next little thing, I have some honey here, and I'm just going to give a little tiny smear of honey to my stars. And then I've got some glitter, and I'm just going to, edible glitter, tap my glitter on. So holly is the most Christmassy thing, I think, especially holly with a berry. So couldn't resist, and we've been out, we've got some holly. I'm just going to pop that in, and then what I need to do is lift my cake up. I'm going to put it very carefully onto here. So there you have it, a really quick last minute Christmas cake. Happy Christmas.